when we go with the word war. And, we want war because we want to have no wars, but you have to be there, and, sometimes you have to do it.
What?
The United States has two groups of people going at each other's throats.
Defending the homeland is the military's first and most important priority. That's what it is. Only in recent decades did politicians somehow come to believe that our job is to police the far reaches of Kenya and Somalia, while America is under invasion from within. We're under invasion from within. No different than a foreign enemy, but more difficult in many ways because they don't wear uniforms. At least when they're wearing a uniform, you can take them out. These people don't have uniforms. But we are under invasion from within. We're stopping it very quickly.
All right, quick question. If ICE is the largest military police in the world, right, and they have the largest budget in the world, right, and they're getting rid of everyone you don't want inside America, who the fuck is the military inside America supposed to be fighting? Who are the citizens in America? Well, I shouldn't say citizens, but who are the people in America that the military should be fighting if ICE is getting rid of the ones you don't want? Let's check something out.
We will not lose warfighters because we failed to train or equip them or resource them. Shame on us if we do. Train like your warriors' lives depend on it. Because they do. To that point, basic training is being restored to what it should be. Scary, tough, and disciplined. We're empowering drill sergeants to instill healthy fear in new recruits, ensuring that future warfighters are forged. Yes, they can shark attack, they can toss bunks, they can swear, and yes, they can put their hands on...
So, we can psychologically, mentally, and physically haze our troops, and then when they're all fucked up, we unleash them onto the people, the enemy within. Welcome to America.
And here's the part that kind of stuck with me. If you don't like what I'm saying, you can leave the room. But there goes your rank and there goes your future.
Okay, before you crash out, hear me out. Yes, we watched the same thing. Yes, I am disappointed. Beyond disappointed, actually. Yes, I feel a call to stand in the gap for my soldiers even more than I did before. But what I'm asking you to do is take some time, breathe, decompress. Because when they said that the enemy is coming from within, that was a real statement. Know those that you can trust. Know those that you could lean on. Have discernment with who you could confide in. Now's the time for you to reach out and lean on your brothers, your sisters, your mentors, the people that you know care and love you and are actually compassionate leaders. This is not the time. This is not the time, I'm telling you, to let your emotions get the best of you. If you feel like your emotions are going to get the best of you, we earn leave. Take it. I urge you, take it. Take 7 days off. Take 7 days off and just do what you need to do. But do not give people the power over your future. I beg you. If you have nobody that you can confide in, nobody that you can trust, nobody that you can talk to, my DMs are always open. I promise you that. Message me. And if you are active duty, email me. Do not give the enemy the power. Do you understand what I'm saying? Love and light, y'all. Love and light. I'll be back on here to talk about some other stuff, but love and light.
In other words, to our enemies, F-A-F-O.
Yeah, saw that, right? You know what he was expecting at that moment? He was expecting cheers. Yeah! But all the generals were just silent. Because that was exactly what that pause was. He was like, to our enemies, F-A-F-O. He was expecting right there in that moment, the generals were going to back him up like with some war cries. And then America's enemies would be shitting in their pants and everyone's pissing themselves. But the generals are just there like... This is this is beyond embarrassing, I swear to God. So the thing is, us Ghanaian Canadians, we get to watch all of this and laugh because if you're Nigerian or American, it's pretty embarrassing to be you right now. But us Ghanaian Americans, we just watching you guys and laughing.
Donald Trump walks out to the room full of top generals from across the planet and says, I've never walked out to a room so quiet. Hey, don't laugh. Don't laugh. If you don't like what I'm about to say or what I'm saying, you can get up and walk out now. There goes your rank and there goes your future. Your Fuhrer has spoken. And they just laughed and clapped. They actually gave him thunderous laughing. You get what I'm saying? Everybody's like, oh, thunderous, it wasn't that many. It doesn't matter. It was enough. You know, they're going to look back and be like, where were you when democracy died? Sitting in my car in a parking lot at 12 in the afternoon. Welcome to the shit show.
Donald Trump should have given that speech in German. It would have sounded better, and it would have given all these mouth-breathing nitwits an excuse as to why they're still supporting him. Because if you can hear him say, I'm going to be meeting with all the leaders and admirals and generals, and if I don't like someone, I'm going to fire them on the spot, and you don't draw any historical similarities, I'm afraid one of two things is true. Either you weren't burdened with an overabundance of schooling, or you could tell me what your colon looks like from fucking memory. I mean, if you can watch that draft-dodging, bone-spurred, bigoted piece of shit talk about how he wants to use American cities as training grounds for the military because the enemy within is there, while Pete Kegsbreath does a terrible impression of that Peacemaker line where he talks about how all he wants is peace, no matter how many men, women, and children he has to kill to get it, then maybe your low self-esteem is actually just common sense, because I am confident that you could tell me what kind of crayon tastes best. It is right in front of your fucking face. And if you can't see it, do us all a favor and get fucked.
Important mission. And I told Pete we should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds for our military, National Guard, but military.
That statement was designed to scare you. And some of the reactions from creators on here are designed to scare you. Like declaring war on American cities, bullshit. Like, do better, okay? We're talking about military using cities as training grounds, right? Let me tell you how many times that's happened in the last 10 years. I think it's like 5, okay? And you may not be aware of it because it's not something people usually track, and it's done for a purpose. It's called military operations in urban terrain, or MOUT. Those are operations, right? There are operations in Texas. There was an operation in Los Angeles. There's public displays of military capabilities, I think almost on a yearly basis, down in Tampa Bay. So, and the granddaddy of them all, I believe in the last 10 years, was Jade Helm in 2015, where even though Texas and Abbott were, coordinated with, as they should be, for these exercises, all these conspiracies went online that Obama was declaring martial law and was going to take over Utah and Texas. And Abbott bent to the conspiracy theorists and said, like, hey, I'm going to deploy the National Guard so everybody's protected, right? Even though he fucking knew that it was an exercise and it had been pre-coordinated. So when these things come out, when Trump comes out and says, like, hey, I talked to Pete about using, military, or using U.S. cities as training grounds for the military, it's been done, bitch. Like, we do it like every couple years in different cities. Now, if you do it without coordinating with the governor and the states in blue cities and blue states, that's a red line, and they won't cross that. But what you'll probably see is he'll announce some big training ground operation in like a red city in a red state, or a blue city where he gets the mayor to bend in a red state, things like that. It won't just all of a sudden be the military showing up and using the city as a training ground. It doesn't fucking work like that, and they know it, and they're not going to cross it. And if you notice the silence during that meeting today, you know that the senior leaders aren't going to do it either, right? There is no respect for Trump and Hegseth inside of the military. And that was evident, glaringly evident today. But they were still going to try to get the sound bites. They're still going to try to get the attention of like, hey, we're going to roll into U.S. cities. And guess what? If they could do it, they would have done it. They would have already fucking done it. They wouldn't have backed down from Chicago. They would have just rolled in, and they can't, right? They cannot, because they know that's a red line, and then history will be made, and those guys will get perp fucking walked.
Every day, we have to be prepared for war, not for defense. We're training warriors, not defenders. We fight wars to win, not to defend. Defense is something you do all the time. It's inherently reactionary and can lead to overuse, overreach, and mission creep. War is something you do sparingly, on our own terms, and with clear aims. We fight to win. We unleash overwhelming and punishing violence on the enemy. We also don't fight with stupid rules of engagement. We untie the hands of our warfighters to intimidate, demoralize, hunt, and kill the enemies of our country. No more politically correct and overbearing rules of engagement. Just common sense, maximum lethality, and authority for warfighters. That's all I ever wanted as a platoon leader.
No more rules of engagement. The Geneva Convention is being tossed out the window. Geneva Convention was instituted right after the Second World War to stop war crimes. This man says it's tying our hands. We need to toss that shit out. Okay.
The United States has two groups of people going at each other's throats.
I can't believe Trump just said this.
We can do things during the shutdown that are irreversible, like cutting vast numbers of people out, cutting things that they like, cutting programs that they like.
But Jess, Trump is right. If Democrats don't sign this spending bill, it's their fault for the government shutdown.
Do you know why they're not signing it?
Because they don't want to give Trump his way, ever.
Nope. Do you have health care?
Yeah.
How would you feel if your insurance went up 75%?
I wouldn't like that.
This spending bill would let ACA subsidies expire, which would make premiums jump 75% for millions of Americans.
Wait, really?
Do you support the education system?
Yes.
This bill slashes education funding by 15% and eliminates all funding for public broadcasting.
Oh, so Democrats not signing the bill is an attempt to help everyday Americans?
Exactly. And here's the thing. Trump's already been firing federal workers all year. He's already been cutting programs. But now he's using the shutdown as an excuse to blame all of it on Democrats.
You're right. Republicans control all three branches of government. Maybe they're to blame.
I heard at school today that the government shutting down is all the Democrats' fault. So I decided to look into it. Okay, so right now, the Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. That means they basically hold the purse strings when it comes to government funding. But here's the twist. Democrats are refusing to just pass a plain funding bill because it doesn't protect health care. If the Affordable Care Act subsidies expire, people's insurance premiums could go up by more than 75%. And the congressional office even warned that up to 4 million people could lose their health insurance in the next decade if these subsidies aren't extended. So Republicans are saying Democrats are stalling and holding us hostage. But Democrats are saying we're not about to let our families get crushed by insane healthcare prices just so politicians can look tough. So is it really fair to just blame the Democrats? Republicans literally control all three branches right now. If they wanted a clean deal, they could push it through. But instead, we get the blame game, while regular people like us are going to be the ones who end up paying the price.
Based on what the focus of life should be about, the U.S. is divided by two visions of success. One says winning matters most. The other says people matter most. Hofstede, the cultural theorist, calls this achievement versus nurturance. It's one of the deepest divides in the world. In achievement cultures, people value strength, ambition, and competition. Success means being the best, and that usually means at the expense of others. It is a win-lose, zero-sum view of life. If you're doing better than me, I'm losing because you've taken from me, and I'm going to fight to get it back. In nurturance cultures, people value cooperation, empathy, and care. Success means everyone does better, even if no one wins outright. It's the idea that a rising tide raises all ships. Together we stand, divided we fall. And if you do better, your success helps me, so I'll fight for you, and you'll help fight for me. And there's an article on this today at culturalperspective.com, because politics isn't random. It is driven by culture. And from this cultural perspective, Trump's Republican ideals are achievement-focused, and Democrat ideals are nurturance-focused. Trump's followers idealize strength. They want big military, focus on GDP and stock market gains. If someone else is poor, it's not only their fault, it's my gain. Everything is about competition. They want leaders who eliminate problems, not solve them. And there is a big difference between those two viewpoints. Democrat ideals work for the people. They want the highest standard of living, safety nets so people can escape poverty, equality so everyone has the opportunity to succeed. If someone else is poor, it drags me down. They want leaders who solve problems so everyone is better off. So this divide is played out in politics, but the real driver is culture. So what do you think? Which system is the way to go? The zero-sum game that drives individuals to greatness, or the rising tide raises all ships in which everyone is more successful? Let me know in the comments.
Hey. Right? With all of these troops that are roaming the cities here in the United States, right? I feel the dire, urgent, crucial even need to inform you all of the new policies that are taking place in the United States military. Now, my goal in sharing this information is only to protect the women, the children, all those that can be taken advantage by law enforcement. That is my main goal. This is not a thing about race or anything like that. I just want to make sure that the people that deserve to be protected can be protected. And so let's continue. The United States military branches have implemented a new policy called the Hedgeseth policy, under which soldiers under misconduct investigations won't see career solves. To the left of me in bold lettering is the title of the article that you can find on taskandpurpose.com, right? And I'll be reading out loud the portion that is right underneath the photo. So soldiers under misconduct in certain law enforcement investigations will be able to be promoted, attend schools, and move bases with a waiver that gets rid of flags on their record. The policy reflects a reform announced by Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth in a speech on Tuesday. So now, while being under investigation for misconduct, which includes, you understand, drug and alcohol offenses or abuse, stuff like that, just to keep it light, right? These people can still be promoted, receive awards, you understand, move on to new assignments, rather than their career being frozen in place. They're still able to continue on with their lives, right? And whatever the offense is that they may have committed, that is currently that's going through the process to be proven. Because let's be honest, a lot of the time, if you don't have the evidence, they can always say it didn't happen, even though they know that it happened. Okay? Even though they know it happened. So even though this person is going through an investigation that is taking place because there usually is a substantial amount of evidence or presented evidence, that's the reason why, basis, motive, there's reason. Now these people are able to just continue to get up into the rankings, get higher, more powerful positions, become more untouchable. And this shit is crazy to me because by 2013, senior officials had racked up more than 500 misconduct cases. Okay? This shit makes me think about the freaking Army male doctor that got flagged for at least for sexual conduct, for touching 42 male fucking patients in the military. And then let's be honest, this country doesn't like to use words in their actual definition, their literal meaning. You understand? They like to be tricky with the definition on what they consider is misconduct or is serious versus minor misconduct. You had the president of this country literally get in front of news reporters and talk about, abuse, domestic, wife and husband, they fight. They want to call that domestic. It's not really domestic. It's not really a fight. They change the meaning every day to fit their narrative. Every day. And now you have all of these fucking troops out here, not easily to be identified. Okay? And now with this government shutdown, could be pissed off because they possibly are not getting paid. You understand? You have them out here with no identification, with masks, just roaming and grabbing and doing all of this shit to people. And now, even if they get caught doing something and we're investigating it, they're currently going through an investigation for trial, whatever, they're still able to move on with their lives. They're still able to move on into the very system, up in the very system that will protect them, keep them protected. So are we doing a general strike? The citizens here in America, are we doing a general strike? And when I say that, I mean that. Essential workers too. I'm so sorry, but we gotta sacrifice fucking something. They're sacrificing us. Okay, teachers, home. Students, home. Everybody, home. A strike. Don't buy shit. And to be honest, considering now that we're going through a fucking government shutdown, you can't even trust the shit that you buy because FDA they can't ensure that any of the shit that you're buying is actually healthy for consumption. They can't ensure nothing right now. Nothing, but we're still giving you guys federal taxes. We're still giving you our taxes. And now with this shutdown, you understand, they're able to use this time to not only distract us from the fucking files that we've been demanding to be released, right? But they're also able to transfer fucking money because the shutdown costs us money. It still costs us money. Sorry, I'm getting too heated. It costs us money. Okay. The last government shutdown that we had that lasted for 35 days by Trump, first term, cost the United States $3 billion that we still never got back. Federal tax paying dollars that we never got back. Never got back. So are we doing a general strike? We're definitely figuring out something with this whole tax for next year. People trying to figure out how we filing this bitch. That's one. Two, we need to do something as the consumers. We really need to do something. It's getting too fucking out of it. And if you think that this shit is bad now, if this shutdown continues or ends up being longer than the longest one that we had, which was also started by the same administration, y'all are in for a fucking shit show. You understand? And all of them motherfuckers, let me tell you something. While you and I are trying to figure out how to eat, they got food. While you and I are trying to figure out what to do, they have the means. But are purposely sacrificing us for whatever fucking reason because they want to be greedy. Meanwhile, all these Democrats are just asking for is extra money for the extension on the Affordable Care Act tax credits that was supposed to be given to them. But because of all of these fucking cuts at the beginning of this fucking administration and this year, they ran out of money. And they need it so desperately for these American citizens. And you have fucking Republicans talking about, no, we want to do a stopgap bill. So, general strike? When? What's the date? I propose we should do it probably around Black Friday. That's when across the board, businesses are in the red, I believe, right? Or is it in the red or in the black? Whatever it is where they're losing the most money. This is why that sale exists around the time that it exists. They need that. We need to do our strike then. Not only not buy shit, no work, no nothing, because these federal workers right now, and then these troops that are out here already deployed, now they was already upset at the fact that they had to come out here for bullshit. Now this shutdown, they probably not getting no money. And then now they have this shit where we know that there are corrupt people in law enforcement and these military branches that have already been taking advantage of being protected by this fucking government. Now they're able to do whatever while being investigated. Can get a promotion, get a bonus, move up in the rankings, do things to have the flags that's on their record in which they're currently being investigated for removed. I thought the flags were indications of what you're dealing with, where to place them, where not to place them. And you're removing that.